folks, William Stillman, psychic medium. Today's site location is not Gettysburg, but we're still in Pennsylvania. We're in Dauphin, which is near Harrisburg, and what I know today is that I am at the Peter Allen House. This is by special request of Tim, who is my videographer, and I am joined today by Barbara and Frank, who are the owners of the house. I know nothing about this place, so it's going to be very interesting, and I'm looking forward to our time together. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
As I was standing out in the parking lot, I got the name Elizabeth, and you initially said yes, that's relevant, and then so tell me about that. What's the connection to the name?
Well, Elizabeth is not the name, but I thought it was the name.
It's a woman's name.
It's a woman's name,
but
which is close to Elizabeth.
What is the name?
Isabel.
Isabel. Okay, that is fairly close. Okay, so there's the is.
Right, it could be an E, I suppose, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Because I was getting that feminine energy as we pulled in. I was out in the parking lot. And I'm assuming, given the size of the estate here, that this was a rather wealthy or well-to-do family that originally resided here, correct?
Yes,
and there would have been servant quarters.
Yep.
Also, correct? Okay. Let's head upstairs. I'll let you lead the way, please.
Go ahead, you go.
I'm slow with the knee.
Oh, I have to ask, this mirror has been here for quite some time, is that correct? Have there been people that have made comments about seeing something reflected in this mirror in particular?
Yes.
Because that's what I'm getting. And it's very interesting. I'm wondering also if there would have been a time when the mirror would have been covered or removed.
Well, I know it was
to your knowledge.
It was never removed to my knowledge, but I don't.
Someone tried to remove it.
Someone tried to remove it, and was it at all covered at any time? Do you know? The reason why I'm asking is because, man, this looking glass almost feels like a portal.
Oh, wow.
Like there's stuff that comes and goes and is monitoring and observing from the other side of the looking glass. But I wouldn't be surprised if people have complained or made references to seeing someone or multiple people in period costume, in period wardrobe. Do you know anything about this, Frank?
Yeah, sure.
In the glass, correct?
I see reflections sometimes beside you when you look in that side. You know,
and there's someone there
you see
in period dress.
You see that, and to be honest with you, Bill, I never saw it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
people have.
That I wouldn't be surprised about that. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, well, let's make our way upstairs. It's Elizabeth, but it's Isabel.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm being shown the word depression connected to her. Do you know anything about that?
Not really.
It feels to me as though there was a...
Barbara does.
Well...
What do you know about that connected to her? And was there a significant loss that impacted her?
You could say so.
That's what I'm feeling connected to her. It almost feels as though, has she been something of a presence here, to your knowledge? Reportedly, that's what I needed to hear, yes. Because, as I said, I was in the parking lot, sort of picking up that energy also. And have people reported feeling her or sensing her or seeing her, to your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. So...
Not seeing, but definitely...
Feeling, sensing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
Not seeing, but...
So I don't know, again, I don't know anything about the history of the location, but does this serve as a bed and breakfast? Are there people that are able to stay here as guests or as part of a weekend package or something of that nature? So you have people that are able to rent the rooms, so to speak. And I'm also wondering if that is the case, if people have reported having their sleep disturbed.
Well, to clarify, we really don't rent the rooms. We're zoned for a bed and breakfast. But there are people who will report disturbances
in their sleep.
Not necessarily
That's what I'm
in their
wondering.
sleep, no, no, Bill.
For
I don't
example,
sense
the
that.
last time that we were in Gettysburg, which was last month, I believe, we were in the Farnsworth house. And I was in a particular room, and I wasn't really getting much. I was about to walk out, and I walked back in, and I said, wait a minute. I feel like I'm a guest lying in the bed here, and it feels like someone sat on my bed in the middle of the night. And I'm getting the same sort of impression here. And so I don't know if there has been anyone that has reported feeling as though there's been someone in bed with them, there's been someone in the room, there's someone sitting in, there's a presence in the room with them.
Yes. We don't have many people that actually sleep overnight here. We have many people here, but they don't necessarily sleep here. However, there have been people that have said that they felt a presence or that somebody was sitting. Yes.
Sitting where?
Down.
On the bed? On the mattress?
On a chair or
Okay.
a stool.
In the room with them. Okay, that's what I needed to
I'm
hear.
trying to not tell you, but
Thank you.
yes.
No, you're doing a great job. I don't want to be led with too much information. Now, I also have to ask, it feels to me, in full disclosure, when we came in, there were a lot of men setting up tents outside. So I'm assuming that this is a venue that could be used or leased or rented for parties, weddings, and so on. But I'm also feeling as though there's a long history prior to modern times of people being wed in the house.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that? And does that go back to the original family?
No, doesn't go back to the original.
Doesn't go
family.
back that far. I also have to tell you, and I'm assuming downstairs is a parlor,
Yes.
or an area that would have been the original parlor.
Yes.
I also have to ask if someone laid in state, and if that's possible. I'm actually seeing an open coffin.
Not that.
And do you know anything at all about
not
that?
Not that we're
yeah, not
aware
that we
of.
would know.
Possibly one of the owners
I'm wondering.
could have been laid in
I'm
state
wondering
because
about
of his
that.
position. But that's
Because of his position?
position.
And if that were true, would that have happened here? Okay. I'm wondering about
Could
that.
have.
I'm wondering. Yeah.
We're not, the
But that would have been where, yeah.
difficulty in that there aren't any primary sources that can document certain things.
Right.
We know how many owners have been here.
Right.
We know what owner we are, but some of the owners were very prominent people.
Right. I tend to pick up on things that are not obvious, but I tend to pick up on a lot of minutia.
It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is fascinating because when that's able to be verified, if you look at any of my previous videos.
Yeah, we saw the one on Gettysburg. That was,
The bed and breakfast.
The bed and breakfast, that was great.
Which one?
Farnsworth.
The Farnsworth?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then people are able to sometimes go back and verify some of those details that seem kind of innocuous, you know? Yes. Connection to a male with a W name, as in Wallace, Walter,
Yes.
William. Who would that be?
William?
And who is William connected to the property?
We were told that he was a kind of a caretaker
Of the property.
at one time.
Mhm.
Is that what, wouldn't you say?
With respect to the grounds or just maintenance, that sort of thing? Is that to what you are referring?
I don't know. I don't know that we know.
He wears a hat. I've seen him wear a hat. Do you have any photographs of him?
No.
Are there photographs that
No.
exist of him? No?
No.
We're going way back before then. huh?
Way back.
Okay. But it feels as though for him there's a very strong connection here, like a personal and emotional investment in the property. And I don't know if he has also left an imprint on the property or the grounds as well, or if anyone has commented about William.
Yeah, we've had some comments about William and where he was located.
Outside,
back.
but what
Where
about
he was-
outside of the house? Is anyone?
Not outside of the house.
almost feels as though he was like as I said, like a maintenance man or
Could have been.
groundskeeper or something
have
like
been,
that, because
yeah.
I'm seeing tools, a hoe, rakes, pruning shears, things like that.
Could have been.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that. And I'm also wondering if he would have resided on the property in a separate space, and if that's possible. So for example, are there cottages on the property? Are there other quarters on the property that are separate from the main house?
Yes.
And so there's the potential then for those to have served as maybe residences for staff or storing
I think so.
equipment or
Yes.
so on. That's a possibility.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm also being told to ask about a summer kitchen, and I'm also being told to ask about livestock on the property.
Summer kitchen's right behind you.
Where? Right out this way?
Right
Mhm. And what about any livestock that would have been kept on the property?
Purportedly,
Yeah.
and, yes.
So I'm smelling manure and hay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, wait, yeah, definitely. I was thinking of one, yes.
Yes, to which
It's
piece?
a definite, yes. The livestock and manure and hay, yes.
Great, okay. So does that include pigs? Because it feels to me as though,
Definitely.
Yes.
the reason why I'm asking is because it feels as though someone would have actually slaughtered pigs on the property and then they would have been prepared in this area.
Possibly.
Oh, I think it's a very strong possibility because it also feels as though there would have been someone, cooks plural, I'm being told to say, plural, who they would have been knowledgeable about using every possible portion of the animal. Including some kind of jelly. I don't know anything about that, do you? Some kind of jelly that could be made.
There's a pig's feet jelly.
Is there really?
Oh,
Yes.
interesting. Okay, maybe that's it.
Huh. I didn't know.
Gosh, that would be using every possible part, wouldn't it?
Yes.
I never had it, but it's a Pennsylvania Dutch thing that
Huh.
pig's feet jelly.
Interesting, okay. The other thing that I'm wondering is if anyone has gone over the property with metal detectors.
Yes.
Because I think there's lots of horseshoes and maybe spoons and maybe pieces of tools or things of that nature, maybe buttons even, metal buttons. Yeah.
We've had quite a few people.
Yeah. Some
There's
of them.
almost a native group of men and women who like to do this. In fact, recently, they found a very interesting coin, and I somehow destroyed it by using
He tried to clean it.
I tried to clean it with a mistake.
Yeah,
It
it was a
dated
big
back to the
mistake.
1760s.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
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 How interesting.
He erased everything.
Oh,
And there's a
no.
lot of,
Yeah.
there were a lot of broken pottery and glassware. A lot of glassware.
This William, I'm being shown the phrase woodshed. So this William, I believe, also may have been responsible for kindling, chopping wood, gathering wood to keep the fires fed with wood. I feel like that's a possibility.
It's a great
Yeah.
possibility.
Yes. So he really was the man in charge of keeping everything running smoothly. There's a well nearby also, correct? Yes. All right. I'm wondering if there's some story connected to the well and one of the children. Do you know anything about that?
No. No.
Somebody dropping something down the well or holding something or someone over the well. I also want to ask if the family that lived here had political affiliations or political connections.
Yes.
or if anyone who lived here held an office. Is that a yes? Thank you.
Yes.
It feels that the patriarch of the household was rather high profile. And when I came in, obviously, the family who lived here was affluent and well-to-do. And so I feel as though, oh, there's a railroad connection also. Do you know anything about that?
It's a possibility.
If they would have been, is there a street or a line or something named after them? It feels as though they would have been
Yes.
a financier of something connected to the railway.
Well,
Does that
there
make
is a
sense?
street named after.
There is the street, but I'm
one-
thinking more so of like railroad. I'm seeing railroad tracks is what I'm seeing. Do you know anything about that?
No.
So is it also possible that, because I'm seeing men gathering here and having discussions around a table, and I'm wondering also if this would have been a meeting site or a location where there would have been some strategic planning that would have happened here.
Probably, right?
Yeah, I would think definitely.
Yeah.
I need to ask about the male with the the A name again. A, I believe I said Andrew. I'll take Arthur. I know it's the Allen house, but I think this is different from that. Yeah.
There's a very prominent A, but not associated with Allen, and it's a last name.
Connected to the house. And what is that place? A male name.
Well, the last name was Ayres, Ayres,
And who is heirs?
the prominent person that you talked about.
But way back, yeah.
Well, way back, both,
Yeah.
both politically
But one of-
and strategically.
Yes.
And
One of the
and one of them,
He was one of the owners.
Oh, okay.
At one time, when would that have been?
probably from 1770 to the 1830s.
Yes. Okay. All right. So heirs, the A name, the man, was the one who was was he the politician?
His
Or
son-
had political connections,
his
political
son
affiliations?
became the politician. He was the kingmaker, so to speak.
All right. And again, I need to ask about any connection to the railroad, the beginnings of establishing the railways.
Not
And that
I'm
family.
aware of.
I
Not that
suppose
I'm
it's
aware of.
possible. but
It's possible.
I'd be willing to bet there's something there.
It's possible.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So earlier I had asked about, prior to modern times, there being weddings that were hosted in the house, receptions and so on. Do you know anything at all about a grand ball that may have been held here on the property,
Yes.
going way back? And it feels as though, what's that?
Plural.
Balls, plural. It feels as though there is one that is significant than the others. And I'm wondering also if there are any political affiliations connected to what I'm feeling. Like almost, I don't want to say an inaugural ball, but it sort of has that type of elite status to it, if that would make any sense. What is that? What am I getting? It's one ball in particular that seems to be set apart.
I can only
And
guess.
there's a political connection, it feels like.
I could maybe associate a political connection, but I don't have that with certainty.
But we do know that they did have balls here. That's actually in some of the publications that we have.
I see. But is there anything that, to your knowledge, was a very particular event that would have had some import, either because of for whom it was being thrown or because of who would be in attendance? It feels like it's very significant. Do you know anything about
It's a
that?
possibility. I mean, I can give you conjecture, but I don't have any
Okay,
certainty.
well, we'll have to
It's a
look
strong
into it. then.
possibility.
Thank you. All right. So you wanted me to come into this
Yeah,
room
I mean, this
okay,
is-
to see what we get here.
This was the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And, you ready? The ballroom.
Oh, the ballroom.
Well, that's why
Interesting.
I thought, yeah.
Yeah.
You thought what?
I thought maybe that's why you asked about the balls.
Well, it may be, but I certainly
Yeah.
wouldn't have thought this would have been a ballroom. But how interesting. The other reason I was asking is because as I was facing the front door, I was seeing people entering dressed in their very finest clothing. The women in particular. This would have been the Carriage House, though. that I
I just took out the one card just now.
Yes.
Just to give
So-
some space.
was. In the same way that people maintain and upkeep their cars and change the oil and so on, the same thing would have happened with the carriages.
Sure.
They would have axle grease. I'm smelling.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
It would have come in large tins, I believe. They're round tins, and we'll have to look into this to see if that is in fact what I'm picking up on. But there were various brands of axle grease to rub into the joints of the carriage and the wheels to keep everything running smoothly. Very interesting. You may not be able to answer this, but I'm also wondering if anyone on site, if anyone on staff would have done any leather work or leather tooling or anything, again, in keeping with the upkeep and maintenance of the carriages or the reins or anything connected to the horses.
Yeah. I think it's a
I
possibility.
mean, it's certainly a possibility, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm so fascinated to learn more about William because it feels as though he just was so loyal and devoted and again had a personal and emotional investment in the property.
There were two Williams. Two Williams. One had definitely the emotional connection to the property. And the other was, I believe, the manservant that you're making reference to.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, let me try and elaborate a little on what I heard and what we heard. You had the sense of William. It was a prominent sense. I don't know if he was the second owner or third owner, was William Ayres, Ayres, who was a very, very prominent character in the pre-revolutionary period and during the revolutionary period. He became a patriot and fought for independence. All right. He then later became one of the original founding fathers of the first bank of the United States. So it was finance rather than railroads, but maybe he dabbled in railroads later. I'm not privy to that. It was William Ayres' son, John Ayres, who became the state senator representing this district.
That's the political
That's
affiliation.
that's the political affiliation that you alluded to. Who's to suggest that maybe at his swearing in, they didn't come back into the big ballroom and things, something of that nature,
Inaugural ball.
right? His own.
Right.
His own.
I'd be willing to
when
bet.
He was made a state senator.
Very
Very prominent, close friend of Thaddeus Stevens, the abolitionist out of Lancaster County. And I can tell you endless stories about John Ayres, but we don't have the time, nor do you have the interest. The other William that I associated with immediately,
The groundskeeper.
the groundskeeper, was prominent, purportedly, here, follow me and I'll show you where he is, or where he was. Go ahead. this is where the stagecoach stopped to go up over the mountain. And William, the caretaker, would greet people here purportedly and tell them, wipe your boots. And right outside that door are the boots things where you wipe your boots. So he was very conscious of that. So that's the second William, and that's about all I know from him. But the founding patriarch was William, and the fellow who was conscious of that was William. I think I need for you then to show me some of the other video, and then we'll be able to comment from that, because you were right on in a number of areas. When you, yeah, why don't we do that? If that doesn't.
I love that there's the possibility that there was some sort of celebratory ball here connected to the political position. Inaugural ball, I think was the phrase I saw.
Even John,
Way back.
even way back, there were Indian dances with the locals here, and that is documented in some of the publications. So they wined and dined and danced in this room, and they made this room larger because it was too small. And if you notice the two fireplaces, there was a wall, and this was the
Right.
doorway right here.
That would make sense.
To accommodate the ballroom, they made this. In our day and age, we don't think this is much of a ballroom.
Yeah, but back then it was
in the
large.
1800s, early 1800s, this was quite a large room for frivolity and whatever you have, dancing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'd look forward to what you guys piece together, and I think we can comment on some of it if you want the comments.
Oh, yes.
And you said
And
so
Isabel,
much. You
too.
said so much. Yeah, that just sparked so much interest that we need to go back and do our homework too.
Yes, we'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
Well, so if you watch the other videos that we've done previously, then you'll see that there are cards that get inserted after the fact.
Right.
Once information's
Yeah,
able
yeah,
to be
that's right.
verified,
Okay.
and then
Sure,
Um,
sure.
and then also people who watch them comment
That's right.
as well, and they're verifying things. Like one of the, I was just telling Tim in the parking lot, well, I forget where it was, where I was picking up the name Ambrose Bierce or Pierce or something like that, and someone in the comments said,
Oh, no, him?
Really?
Relative, distant relative or something?
no, Ambrose Bierce was an author who wrote stories about the Civil War and
Oh.
is known for an incident at Owl Creek, which is apparently a very well-known story. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just never know what we're going to pick up.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yes.
Thank you again.
Well, you're very sweet to have us interrupt your day and your
No.
schedule.
Oh my God, it's very
Appreciate
exciting.
it very much.
Very exciting for us.
It's a beautiful property. You should feel very pleased and proud
We are.
Thank you.
of what that you have done with it.
We are. Thank you.
So thank you for having us.
Oh, no, thank you for coming.